Looks like today we're going to be getting a little piece of heaven, and I've had my eye on this one.
How can I say anything on that one, guys?
I just asked Jo, I said, is my head gigantic in this screen?
Is my head gigantic? I can barely walk through doors because I'm a bourbon know-it-all, and the more I drink, the more I know. Good thing my modesty's great. Jonathan J.O. Owen here, you know, ever playful, having a good time with his bourbon partner.
Hey, I'm Kitty Kennedy. We are a tongue-in-cheek duo that reviews whiskey and a little bit of education. We don't take ourselves too seriously. And it's a lot of fun. And today, I'm looking forward to doing a little bit of a review on the Heaven Hill 7-year-old Bottle and Bond.
Okay, but before we dive into that, let's talk about what that came from, as you can see over my shoulders here.
False advertisement is what I think.
All right, so here we go. It was when the bourbon whiskey started to catch on. We had the Bottled and Bond was labeled at 6 years.
Right.
But still we have the 90 that is labeled at 6 years. Mm-hmm. So this one, about mid 2019, I said this is going away. And sure enough, it did. And I laid it out in videos saying they were going to add 1 extra year to it, and they were going to jack the price way up. And in proof, here we go. Right there, folks. Bottled and Bond 6-year-old was $15 at the Party Source. How much did you pay for that, Kitty?
I'm almost ashamed. $79.99.
Jeez. So for an extra $60, you write 79?
Yes.
$60, $65. You got 1 extra year.
Right.
Wow.
But what a year.
What a year. Let's hope it's good.
I know.
All right.
Well, and a favorite little story of mine is that, I do a lot of private bourbon tastings, flight experiences, things like that. And one of the things that I like to do is my bonus pour will a lot of times have been the Heaven Hill 6-year. And so you slip that into the blind flight, and ironically, a lot of people will pick it pretty high in the flight. And I just always had a little bit of a giggle for that, because I always say, is our palate influenced by the brand, the label, the price?
Oh, without a doubt,
every time I do that, absolutely. And I've slipped in some of my BTAC collection, the higher end Buffalo Trace products as the bonus pour. And it's finished sometimes at the very top because it is delicious, or it's not made the top 2 of a 4-flight fun. I know. All right. So listen, I did a lot better, Jo, this time on my uncorking. I was secretly undoing so I'm going to uncork right now. Ready? Ready? Sound effects.
Wait for it. And this is the internet, so we are getting staged up by a cat. I do apologize, guys.
Oh, that's okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pour. Uh-oh.
That was a sin.
Ooh,
put it back here. Say. Okay.
All right. Okay, so this is coming in at 100 proof, and I like that sweet spot for me. I always say there's a line. I mean, I'll introduce water or ice into, just about anything just for experimentation purposes. But normally at 100 proof, I'm not really one that would add water or, in just asking for this off the shelf, I'd stick with my neat at 100 proof. So I like that sweet spot. So let's take a look a little bit at the color. Looks pretty good. Nice, rich, amber, pushing, a little darker actually than amber.
Yeah, that's a tea. Definitely a tea.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at the... the legs are even, fast.
Now, as you folks know who watch the show, Kitty is presently in Florida. I'm in Kentucky, so it is kind of hard for us to share bottles.
It is. So we've been doing, in a lot of times we've already had the pour. So, and I love that you have the other two predecessors to this bottle. So my thoughts are knowing that I like the Heaven Hill 6-year green label. And like I said, I've introduced it into different blind flights as a, just as a gauge as to what people have to say about a $15 bottle of whiskey and and where it fits in a uninfluenced palate in a blind. So are we really looking at the exact same mash bill, the exact same everything, but just 1 year longer? Yes. But can a year make a difference? Yes.
It certainly did for $65.
Hey, I'm trying to justify my spend. I mean, technically, I could just keep that, green label for 1 more year. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right, so I'm going in. Obviously, this is Heaven Hill. They're located in Bardstown. Mash bill, I think the mash bill on this was 78 corn. Woo. 12 on a malted barley, and not as much rye, which you can tell right off the bat taking a sniff out of the glass. You know when this was bottled? This was so discontinued. Did you say 2019? So October 2019?
It was late 2000. I'm sorry, not late. It was very early 2019. It faded out of it. It was announced that it was going away, and as a result, it was just bought up in droves.
Okay. This has got a surprising amount of character. All right, I got the note. I got the nose is bringing, oak, so I can definitely smell. I mean, in 6 years, 7 years in a bottle, in a barrel, it's gonna leach a lot. So I'm really liking the nose. Okay, so I'm definitely in tobacco, dark chocolate, leather, defined oak. This is not not even remotely young oak. Vanilla, your typical, typical yummy sauces. It's like, but vanilla more than a caramel or a maple type syrup. So it's not a rich. All right, going in. Compared to some of the higher proof, I'm pretty much had my nose all the way down in the glass. I was like,
yeah.
Okay. All of the nose is very defined in the palate. Same things. Leather, tobacco. More of the box, like the cigar box, not so much an actual cigar. So, but when you have an old a box and the cigars are gone, a humidor, not like ook.
Ook, a little bit of ook.
A little bit of ook.
Yes.
Huh. Okay, so this is a drier palate for me. It's cream. It's creamy, but it was dry, and then now my mouth is trying to reestablish saliva.
Okay.
You know what I'm not getting?
What's that?
I'm not finding fruits. It's very dominant for me. And cigar, leather, tobacco, oak, meaty. I'm not getting, there's some spice, but I think it's more about the, the palate hitting this little bit of singe. Sometimes you mistake that for a flavor, and it's more of a mouthfeel or a taste. That's not a flavor. All right, so I'm liking it.
You're liking it?
Say, based on what I remember, because I don't have the green label, I like the heat. I'm liking the mouthfeel. I'm liking the finish. And I'm liking the more, I'm going to say this word, the more masculine adjectives that I used in the glass. Tobacco, leather, a older oak, very, dude.
Well, that's
I
said a
didn't say
lot.
smelly socks or anything like that, but
No smelly socks.
yeah, I mean, it's really good. I mean,
I'm
but
glad you like it.
I do, but
Okay.
I'm not sure how I feel about the price tag for what I have here. I have other bottles at $79.99 that have far more complexity and are a little more suited to my palate. So all the Bardstowns, I mean, all of them. I mean, Fusion, Discovery. I mean, a lot of them will sit
So that
79.
extra year was to make
Right.
it stand out, and then they put it in a whole new bottle to differentiate it, and then to separate it even more, and then tack $65 on it for that extra year. Because why? Unfortunately, in the world of bourbon, you can, which
All
is
right,
very
I just dropped a little
sad.
bit of water in, which for me would probably take this, but who knows?
All right,
Maybe
let's
I'll
find
find
out.
some fruit, some vegetables, something in here that's other than just those other notes. I mean, they were just overwhelming in that category. Jael, I know that there's a lot happening in the world of whiskey bourbon in the United States and in general. I wonder sometimes if there isn't a opportunity for people to capitalize upon a brand and some revenue. And what I mean, because I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, this is not enough of a reason to go to this price tag. Would I buy it? I already did for the purpose of wanting to taste it. Is it good? Yeah. But I would spend $79.99 on a whole lot of other bottles.
Okay.
That are
it would be a last resort for you.
Yeah, I would. So
okay,
I wouldn't buy this again.
Okay. Let's go to my other favorite question of water in it, ice, dilute it down, or drink it straight.
I just put a little bit of water in it, and it got a little spicier, but not much. I mean, it wasn't like it introduced any kind of complexity. It didn't really bring it down to bland. Maybe a little more cinnamon showed up for me. I mean, which I like all the baking spices in a glass, but not enough that it was anything substantial. Now, I would never use this. If this were $15, this would absolutely be a cocktail pour for me. I would mix that with anything. But at $79.99, then I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what my intentions would need to be about this bottle. This will be a bottle that I'll pour because it sits nice at 100 proof. I could pour it for a lot of people who would come over, where, they would enjoy it and it wouldn't, be overwhelming to them. And, I think that's what I'll have to do to get rid of it.
I'm very sorry. There's a few whiskeys.
It is
like,
what it is.
If I got to get rid of it. It's just not good, or it's just not worthy of me keeping around. And
no, it's
not worthy of me nursing the bottle. So I'm going to drink it to get rid of it.
Well, and I still see some of the Heaven Hill Green Label, and it makes me want to snap up even more of it every time I see it.
Especially
because a lot of people didn't buy it in general because here's the thing. Me and you, we spend our time on the bottom shelf. There's a lot of great product down there.
Especially since I got evicted, I do sleep in the bottom shelves of the restaurants now. No, I'm sorry, of the convenience stores when they're not looking.
Exactly. So there's nothing wrong with bending over and looking at the bottom shelf.
When you are a bourbon know-it-all, you have to know all whiskeys.
For this? No, I want to stay down where the green label was. That's what I have to say about this.
Me, I miss the days of being able to walk in and buy a premium whiskey for $25. And a premium whiskey at $36 was too much. I'm looking at you, Blanthans.
Part of what we have enjoyed doing is finding those premium bottles at $25, $15, $18, and they're there. There's a lot of great whiskey being poured. I mean, we did a review on the new Riff. New Riff comes in at, I think, a very reasonable price with what they offer.
Yes.
And, I mean, so it's like, there's a good example. I mean, we could give it 100 more, but it's, there's a good example. And, it's like, all right, how many thousands and thousands of bottles of green label were purchased? And now is it going to be equal? I mean, is the revenue stream going to be equal?
Well, if you think of it at $15, you would buy, what is it? That would be 4 bottles to get 60, $5, 5 of them to get 75. So 1 bottle equals $75 as opposed to 5 bottles. And honestly, in the end, if you can make a much higher profit on a bottle for just 1 year of sitting, that's my 2 cents worth. They are going to do it. They're, drinkers right now, they're selling to a high-end market because people think anything with an age statement, even if it is just 7 years, warrants a $65+ price point. And that is terrifying.
Well, and bottle and bond is a new sexy label on a lot of product, which only means it had to be aged for at least 4 years at a minimum.
Plus come out at 100 proof. And it's at this point, I mean,
7 years is a
what we were
lifetime
doing
almost.
for whiskey, we predicted this, 5 years ago when the bourbon started flooding the markets, and it was so many small distilleries that were doing anything they could to speed up the age process. And they were charging $70 for some of these like 375s of whiskey that was 1 year old, but yet had like 17 different staves put into it to take away the fact that it was so young and raw. And I remember just saying that, what is it going to be like when we see something that is 4 years old, bottled in bond? What is the price point going to be like? I'm looking at you, Kentucky Owl. Right. I'm looking at you people who pay for Kentucky Owl at its price for a forking 4-year-old whiskey. Dude, contact the distillers and say, I ain't buying that until you lower it. If not, open your bank account and dump all the money on the desk for them. You are hurting nobody but yourself. That's my 2 cents.
There's a lot of consumers.
I know it.
There's a lot of consumers who think that that's an okay price. Yeah. I'm going to introduce this to my infinity bottle, Gator Bait. So it's where it belongs.
All right. Well, this went off, unfortunately, on more of the tangent and rant, and I do apologize, folks. But anyway, I guess that rolls out what we were talking about. I am a little butt sore about the way whiskey has gone and the way people are paying prices for it. And don't even get me started on the secondhand market. But anyway, that's roundabout way of me saying I'm Jonathan J.O. Owen.
And I'm Kitty Kennedy.
And as I will close out, I will say this. If you like something, I'm not going to mock you for drinking it. I will mock you for paying the price. But you drink what you like. And you like what you drink. Right. And don't ever let anybody tell you what you are drinking is wrong.
Cheers to all of you out there. Exactly what J.O. said. Life's short. Drink the good stuff.
Yes. But it doesn't mean you have to pay premium prices.
Cheers.